Hey friends, and welcome to Atypical Life. Today we are going to discuss New Year's resolutions. You will hear my kids playing in the back. Hopefully they will be there for a little bit playing with their new Play-Doh. I thought today we would discuss 2019 goals and then maybe do a little bit of a recap of goals from last year. Some of these I will go over briefly because I will do a later video on them individually because I believe there's a lot of information. Instead of making this extremely long video, I'll break it up. We are currently in the last week of winter break, which today is New Year's Eve. And so this whole week is me planning for the new year and getting caught up with what I can so that it's easier for me right now. I have a list that I'm going to go over before I go into them. Last year, me and my husband kind of had this thought. Statistically, people usually stick to their resolutions or their goals for the new year for 3 months, and then they kind of lose sight of that because it's a 12-month period, which makes sense because I do the same thing. So we decided we will have general goals for the entire year, and then every 3 months, we'll basically break them up, those goals, over a quarter. And so there's 4 quarters in a year. And so we will just decide which ones are going to happen in the first quarter, second, and third quarter. For those of you who are new, I am a mother of 3, pregnant with number 4. So this year has to be a lot different. Also, we've been in our current home for almost 2 years and we haven't done any kind of upgrades or repairs that we were planning on doing that would make life a little bit better for our family. There's a lot of cosmetic stuff I would like to do, and if I could do some of them this year, that would be great. This year is going to be a little different for us. There's a lot of difference going to happen for us. There's also going to be a time for adjustment for us. Every time you add a person to your life, there's an adjustment period. For me, it's about 4 months each child I've added. So I know the first 4 months are going to be difficult. So I need to keep that in mind when planning to set my goals for whatever quarter they're supposed to be in. So the second quarter and the third quarter I can't expect a lot to happen, that's for sure, because I don't have a baby. And then I'm going to adjust to having said baby. Let's get into my list. So there's no particular order for these. They're just as I thought of them. I wrote it down quick. I am going to find a way to put this in my planner so that I could check them off as I go and stay on top of it. Because last year we had goals, and the year before we had goals, and we completed a good chunk of them, but they're hard to keep track of because I didn't write them down at all. First one I have on my list is my garden. I love having a garden. I have pretty much had a garden every place we've lived in of some sort. We have lived in an apartment for a few years, and we have had houses that we've lived in. I've had a garden just about everywhere. Container garden, which I've done in the apartment complex that I lived in. I had a lot going on there. When we moved, the first house we lived in, I was able to have a garden. I've done a garden every year that I possibly can. I will be doing more videos on the planning of that, and I will post it sometime within this month. I'm going to do a series of yearly plans. The garden plans will be its own video, but for now, our goal is for a healthy, successful garden. Last year's garden was... We're going to figure out what happened last year and do it right this year. And we will have a healthy, successful garden, goal number 1. Goal number 2 is to do year-round gardening. For our home, there's a lot of projects. Like I said, this is a house that needs a lot of things. So we have a couple of projects. And one major project is outside is our electrical panel. And it doesn't have a cover on the front of it. We've already had to replace one of the switches in that. And it costs like $80 because it is a very old panel. And this house was built in 1958, and I think the last time they made the switches that were in that were 1956. So that's really old. It's gonna be a couple $1,000s to fix. That needs to be done. I started the Great Purge of 2018, and then I got pregnant, and then it was too hard to finish because I was so sick. So I'm going to extend that to this year because we have a big garage project that has to be done. Our garage is full of stuff that we had in the last house. Work stuff that my husband has needs to be gone through and basically gotten rid of, or we built a storage in the backyard for stuff that we're going to hang on to. We need to go through that because our garage is going to turn into a bedroom, a pantry, and a office slash homeschool space. It's going to take some time. We are doing it on our own, possibly with like my brother-in-law will probably be over there. Both my brother-in-laws will probably come over and help out. My father-in-law, you know, I'll have family help, probably people from church. So yes, that is a whole video on its own. And I need to do my bedroom because we won't be doing a nursery for the baby. Like I said, this baby number 4, kind of useless in our situation to do a nursery of any sort. The baby's bed and stuff that we will be using for a bed will be in there next to my bed. I will do a whole video on that when probably on close to 35 weeks after I've gotten everything. My husband is going to make me a kitchen table. Our dining room, you've seen our dining room. The table I have can make it small, but it's still too wide from where the kitchen starts to where the wall is. So he's going to make me a smaller, or like a thinner table, but long, because we need the length. And then I do have a couple small projects around the house, like the entryway. Also, I will be working on sticking to the Fly Lady weekly routine that I shared with you in December. And this month I'll be working on including the morning and the night routines. Those are really important to help just kind of keep everything maintained. School. We homeschool. 2019, big changes are happening. This particular topic I will do a video on because we have so much school stuff and I kind of was a little lost at thinking, what am I going to do? There's some changes going to happen and I'll go through how I do not redo their schooling, but kind of take what we already have and adjust it because each child needs something different. Their main goal for 2019 for all 3 of my kids, this is a big one, is independence. I want to teach Riker and Nikayla to do things on their own, do independence, but sometimes there's certain things that are easier to do, like carrying them around or pulling them out of the car myself. Sometimes it's easier. We've been doing that for too long. So certain things that Nikayla's 6 now, she needs to learn to start taking care of household things, like she needs to start having chores. So does Riker at an age appropriate level for both of them. And we need to learn how to do it, how they should do it. So that's going to be a fun process. Also, Haley is 11. She needs to start learning how to cook. She has a couple chores, so she's learning chores. She has learned how to use the washer and dryer, but she doesn't do it regularly. There's certain things that will be added in, new chores for her, which when I do the school video, I will add in the independent stuff. So that's their main thing, is the independence. And then for their school, mommy needs to figure out what works best for them in learning purposes. Finances, which is a big one. This is a video I will do with my budget planner. If you've seen in the past few videos, I have a lot of planners that I really like, and I have a budget planner. So my finances, I have a couple bullet points that I'll go over, but I will detail them in a later video. Also, meal planning and sticking to a grocery budget. That one's hard to do. We waste too much, and that's what we need to do. So I have been watching a couple ladies for a while now, and they do frugal budgeting, frugal food, and that is exactly what we will be doing. Also, we'll be working really hard at getting the garden to produce enough so that it cuts back on our budget, and so whatever we can save from that will be great, because when my pantry is done, I am putting out there a stand-up freezer, a bigger freezer. We have a small one, but once I do a few freezer meals, it's full. And once I put a couple meats in there, so I'm going to work on staying under budget so I could save that for purchasing the freezer. And then also doing a big Sam's Club shopping, and also the purchase of a cow or pig or something along those lines. So that is a brave, if not so brave, finances, and I will do a video that's going to be a little bit more detailed on that, because I've had a couple of people talk to me about that budgeting is their weak point, and so I'll share what we're trying more detailed, and like our new financial plan that's supposed to help us stay on budget and help us save. We will discuss that later. Health. I am not going to be trying to lose weight this year. Yay! I will also go further into my health plan on my 12-week pregnancy update, because that one has pregnancy stuff, and so I thought I'd put them all together and we would go over my health plan. But for the family, I want the kids to learn to ride bikes. They have the opportunity to, as true to my family, we will do everything, but we will just have to do it differently. That is our motto. We will do everything just a little differently. So they will learn to ride their bikes and be a little bit more active. I was hoping we would all ride bikes. We'd all learn how to do it. Then this summer we would go hit trails and ride bikes. But that's not happening. So we'll just focus on the kids learning how to ride a bike. And next spring, we will get the appropriate stuff for my bike so that we could take the baby with us. And we will then go on longer trips. We actually have a lot of nice bike trails in the area. But until they are comfortable riding, I don't want to take them all out yet. So that's what I got for health. Basically, for the kids, for the husband, it's just my husband's healthy. He doesn't have a weight problem, so I don't have to worry about him being overweight or anything. I guess for like him, for health purposes, I will be making more appointments for his dentist, making sure he stays on top of that and make sure he's getting a checkup. He is right there. So I'll make sure that he goes and sees a doctor more often and stop letting him take care of that himself. Oh, and he needs glasses. He doesn't like doing all that stuff. So for him, I will be making sure that he does that. Otherwise, he is not overweight, or, he works hard, and so he has to lift a lot. And so physically, he's pretty healthy. They're kids. They need to keep growing, so I'm just going to keep feeding them. Just keep doing that. So YouTube. I guess everybody's YouTube goal is for growth. That would be awesome, having some growth. I am really enjoying that my family and close friends could stay caught up with me, which is what YouTube has kind of become for us right now, is that those who aren't close or don't get to see the kids grow, grandparents and aunts and uncles, and my best friend and her family, whom I love so much. So everybody gets to kind of come in and see how we're doing. I've been appreciating that when it comes to YouTube. Meeting new people is always fun. And so growth is kind of every YouTuber's hope and dream for their channel. But my personal goal for YouTube is to be consistent. I hope to do Vlogmas, to try Vlogmas next year, but I don't know, because this year was really hard. Granted, this year was way different than I totally anticipated when I started it, but we'll see what happens. Also, I have an Etsy shop that I've not done anything with. I had intention of doing something with a couple years ago. It's still sitting there. I haven't done anything with it. In the second quarter, I plan on opening it and get that going. That's going to require me to start working now to prepare for it. So before I open it, I will do a video on what it is and what I'm doing for that shop. And so it's just going to be something little. So I will do a whole new work thing. I'm going to have a couple hours of work each day that I do in whatever time I can do it in. Probably when I'm in bed. So that is all of the goals I have for this year. My video already says that it's 30 minutes, and I know Jordan's going to get it down a little bit. So this is why I didn't go into depth in all those other ones. This is a basic overall of what we're going to do. If you are interested, please stick around and see the more in-depth videos on my goals. If you are new here, please hit the subscribe button so that you can continue on this journey with me. I am super excited to start the garden this year, and I know a lot of people have been excited about that, so please make sure you're subscribed. Please leave comments and questions down below so that we can answer them. We love to hear your feedback. Also, please, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much.